おざす。おざます。元気してますか皆さん。どうです。これいいから今だけもらってみてほしい。雪屋にもそんなに気づくのだ。歩き疲れたと坂道が全ていいのはいつから忘れたいつまでどういねえまだこんな恋をしていたい。おすどうもです。俺いつもおざすどうもですって言ってない。おざすどうもですかいのお前会長ですか。おざすどうもですかい界隈ですかもしかして。もしくは徐々にいそうだよね。おざすどうもです。空こぼれ落ちた二つの星が意外と闇の引き合うように重なる青こりの道を行くのに太陽の導きを野望の外を目指す者に一見にえ頂上。さあ来ましたね皆さん。一見にえ頂上来ましたね。 請求書ないと、請求書ってほんま一番だろうよな。請求書という制度を作ったやつなんなんマジで。時間やる時間はないんじゃないかとか。じゃあ単語帳じゃあなんかここでやろうじゃないかっていう話なんだけど、そういう時間になって16時までになって性別時間でいいという話になる。それではチーン。これがあるほど体見上げる勇気で言語にくださいよ。その字のさまじゃあ OK。 ちょっと一旦これでいきましょう。はい、予定立て終わり。次暗唱いきます。レイブンファッキン暗唱しますよ、皆さん。よし。これね。Fuck you, bitch。ありすぎるからね。500何名があるんだっけでん565人か。2回。総勢のリストを作り、ここから100問やりまくる。どっち来るんだからよね。いや、待って、ここにロジック入れないといけないじゃん。かかるっすね。そうなるとこれが絶対にこれはいけるか。11時40分な。いける。本気がするな。例文は働きもさせるのも不正ですかっていうとシンプル100までここか。いや、アコモデーションまでいったら結構しんどいな。これくっけないな。くっけないことないけど1、2、ちょっと待って、何回でもいてやるわ。1、2、 2番まで行って、そうすると1、ここまでで5行マイナスだから、2、3、100まで行って、これで195。ここですね。将来はどのようなアパートOK。将来はどのようなアパートに住みたいですかっていうなど質問まで。100万はここだ。これだ。まあ、ちょっと。よし、バッチリ。じゃあいきます。Do you work or you student? I work as a I work as a I work as I usually work これでいいのかな。いや、違うな。I'm a business owner. I mainly do main things. Okay. I'm a business owner and I actually do three main things. One of them is I do English coaching.でもこれコーチング。First, I work as English coach. Second, I run English learning community where we wake up at 5 a.m. and study English together. Third, I create a YouTube content for my business. I work as English coach ではないな。まあいいか。わかりやすくする。Do you work or are you student? I'm a business owner. I mainly do three main things. I mainly do three main things. First, I work as an English coach. Second, I run English learning community where we wake up at 5 a.m. and study English together. Third, I create YouTube contents for my business. これちょっと添削してもらおう。本当に会えるんですね。聞くアンサーな。ChatGPT, motherfucking bitch. これって IELTS で 8.0 相当のアンサーになりますか？Damn, my business owner mainly do many things. Very clear. It's yeah, prepared 感ある。確かにね。I'm a business owner, and my work is mainly spread into three main areas. I work English coach. I run English learning community where we wake up at 5 a.m. to study English together, and I also produce YouTube content to promote my business. Okay, I'm a business owner, and my work is mainly split into three areas. And my work is mainly split into three areas. I work as English coach. I actually do three main things. Yeah, いいでしょ。I actually do three main things. それでスコアが下がると思わないから、もうこれ、Okay, so what are the challenging aspects of your study? Definitely spelling. これちょっと ChatGPT で録音しといて。これでも録音しなきゃいけないんだよな。したら赤開いて英語に変えとき。1にプラスをして。Okay. Okay, what are the challenging aspects of your study? I believe that spending time for study is a really crucial and it's really hard for me. Because as I said, I'm a business owner, so I usually work. so I don't hang out with my friends and I don't spend my time with my family. So yeah, I usually focus on only my work because business is unstable. So that reason, so it's really hurt. It's really difficult to spare my time for English learning. So I would say that is the most difficult reason. Oh. Yep. Let's go. Spending time for study, making time to study, finding time to study. Because as I said, そうなんだ。そうの連発が多いです。I usually focus on only my work は意味が通じるけど少し硬くて不自然。I ended up focusing almost entire work. The most challenging aspect is finding time to study constantly. Since I run my own business, so my schedule is often quite demanding and sometimes unpredictable. As a result, I tend to prioritize work over everything else. Fuck. As a result, I tend to prioritize work over everything else. Yeah, I understand, including the time with friends and family. Because of that, it can be difficult to set aside enough time for English study, and that's probably the biggest challenge for me. I'd say the biggest challenge is making enough time to study. Since I'm a business owner, works tend to come first, especially because my income can be a little bit unstable. I often spend most of my time working, which means I have less time for my friends and my family and even my English studies. So for me, the hardest part is setting aside time to study constantly. あはん。こっちの方が俺も好き。これ、oh, okay. じゃあこれにしよう。Okay, next. Next. Okay, do you prefer to study in the morning or in the afternoon? Or the afternoon, all right? So I prefer studying in the morning because I'm an early bird. I usually get up at 5 a.m. to study English because I'm a business owner, so it's really hard spare my time to study English. So that is why I don't want no like oh let me do it again, motherfucker. Okay, so do you prefer to study in the morning or the afternoon? I prefer study English in the morning because when I study English in the midnight or in the night and after afternoons, I hardly focus on my task. Um, so after むずいこと言おうとしてる。But in the morning, your brain is really fresh and to study English and everything's you can easily no I can easily focus on my task. So that is why the concentration is a key to improve my skills, speaking, listening skills. So that is why I usually spend my time in the morning. あ、こんなアンサーじゃ絶対ダメっしょ。Okay, so do you prefer in the morning? Yeah, and I prefer study. No, like I prefer to study English in the morning because when I'm studying English in the midnight or in the night in the afternoon, I hardly focus on my task. So after but in the morning your brain is fresh and steady. Yeah, まあでもこのまま行くべきか。Fuck. だよね。だよね。At midnight, late at night. なるほどね。手厳しいね。Uh-huh. I prefer to study English in the morning because I can focus better at the time. If I study in the afternoon or late at night, I usually get tired and lose concentration more easily. By contrast, in the morning, I feel fresh and mentally clear, so I can study more effectively since concentration is very important for improving my speaking and listening skills. I usually try to study in the morning. Uh-huh. I think that's better. All right, next. Next. Do you use any technology when you study? Yes, I usually use the technology for my studying. For example, I often use ChatGPT for improving my speaking skills. ChatGPT can do like English conversation for free. So these days, there's a online English conversation lesson, but it takes a little bit expensive for me. So that is why I usually spend. And also, like ChatGPT is a really smart and easy to talk. So that is why I usually use ChatGPT. うん、これは結構いいアンサーなんじゃないでしょうか。どうでしょう。What? Do you use any technology at work? Yes. これは結構いいんじゃない？ Oh shit. 英語の言い方です。For my studies. When I studies. Use ChatGPT for improving my speaking skills. To improve my speaking skills, ChatGPT can do English conversation for free. I can practice English conversation with ChatGPT for free. I can practice English conversation with ChatGPT for free. So yes, I do. I do. I often use a ChatGPT to improve my speaking skills. One reason is that I can practice English conversation for free, which is really helpful. There are also online English lessons, but they can be a little expensive for me. Compared with that, ChatGPT is more accessible. I can find it smart and easy to talk to, so I use it quite often. こんなん出たらいいけどね。なかなか出んのよね。Okay, next. 次は Part 2なんで録音しましょう。Okay, so describe something that helped you to concentrate on study or work. Okay. Okay, so one of the good thing for concentration is making friends. So because when I make a friend, when I study English with my friends, I usually concentrate more deeply. For example, but on the contrary, I study English for my own, usually like concentration is going like I usually lose my concentration. But when I study with my or someone, um so I usually like take no like concerned about the eyes from the others. So that is why I can focus really easily. And also like there's a also one of the another uh no like another is coffee, drinking coffee. So coffee has a caffeine. So caffeine makes you more like concentrating on the task. So I usually drink coffee like before I start work and study. So yeah, but you don't I don't それ読んでいいか。いやー、これひどいな。ちょっと待って。これひどみざたけしだな。じゃあそもそも自分が言いたいことがまずまとまってないな。Describe something you これ絶対いや、本番どういうにした方がいいかな。ちょっともう一回やろう。Okay. So describe something that helps you to concentrate on study, work. Okay, you can take the preparation time for 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I will describe my no like how to concentrate on study or work. So I usually use caffeine, which is so specifically like coffee and tea, uh, and something like green tea. Yes. So uh, when I lose my concentration, I usually I usually take caffeine for concentration. Caffeine makes you more. Uh, Caffeine makes you to like concentrate more deeply, and so that is really effective for me. And the second one is exercising. So if I stick to the table and spending time more like whole time to sit in front of PC, also like in front of notes, so I usually lose my concentration. uh, it's also like bad for health. So that is why I usually take time for exercising. For example, going to gym and do a like bench press. Um, so there is a data for it's really effective to for our brain to exercise for 30 minutes. So usually I take the like 30 minutes. So yeah, this time is really it's gonna be really refreshing, and also like yeah. So these are things I usually do that for my concentration. めっちゃ交互的だし、これ絶対あかんよ。めっちゃ交互的やん、お前。試験みたいに喋るのむずいな、やっぱ。 かに日常英会話が楽かを物語ってるわ。これを文字起こして。No way。よし。Which my GPT? Where is yes?いや、そうだよな。俺もあんまり良くないと思うな、これ。なるほどね。2つに分けるのいいんだ。何書いてあるの？書いた。One of the most effective things that helps me concentrate when I'm studying or working is listening to instrumental music, particularly classical or ambient tracks without lyrics. I find, to give a specific example, last semester, what I particularly appreciate about this method is that it's not improved my focus, but also like makes the study environment more enjoyable and less monotonous. Monotone. Something that really helps me concentrate on both my study and work is combination of caffeine and exercise. First of all, I often drink coffee or drink green tea. When I feel my concentration starting to drop, it helps me feel more awake and focused, especially when I need to study for a long time. The second thing is exercise. If I stay at my desk for too long, it's tend to lose concentration. It's tend to lose focus and feel mentally tired. In this situation, going to the gym or doing a short workout can really help me reset. After about 30 minutes of exercise, I usually feel much more refreshed and ready to concentrate again. That is why these two things are essential for me. 短すぎやしないかい？短すぎやしないかい？2分間。What? I started to lose concentration. Caffeine helped me to feel more alert and mentally awake, which makes it easier for me to focus on my tasks. For example, when I'm studying English or working on my business, I often notice that concentration drops after about an hour. At that point, I take a short break and have a cup of coffee, and that usually helps me reset my focus. After things are really happy, no, things that really helped me is exercise. If I stay at my desk for too long, I tend to feel tired and lose motivation. Sitting in front of a computer for many hours is not only bad for my concentration, but also like for my health. I try to go to the gym and do some light exercise such as walking or doing a short workout. In case even about like 30 minutes of exercise makes a big difference. After that, I feel refreshed and I can concentrate much better. That's why caffeine and exercise are two most effective ways for me to stay focused. これは長いぜ。ああ、なるほどね。実 実際こういう問題まあでもそれに慣れとかないとな。I have one idea then. Okay. Please. ちょっとそろそろ休憩するわ。My makeup so nice. Makes you one thing I beg you don't embarrass me like the other. 英語の勉強クソ楽しいぜ。休憩します。 さあ、追加しよう。Something that really helps me concentration on both my study and work is combination of caffeine and exercise. These two things are essential for me, especially because I often work long hours and need to stay focused. First of all, I usually drink coffee or green tea when I start to lose. Yeah, これは drink coffee when I start to lose concentration. Caffeine helps me feel more alert and mentally awake, which makes it easier for me to focus on my tasks. For example, when I'm studying English or working on my business, I often notice that my concentration drops after about an hour. At that point, I take a short break and have a cup of coffee, and that usually helps me reset my focus. Focus. Uh-huh. Okay, next. But describe 多すぎやろ。先にねよ。マジかよ、お前。Okay. Describe something you would like to learn in the future. Explain why. Explain what. You can prepare that question for about 1 minute. Yeah. I would like to learn Spanish and French in the future because I want to expand my networking, and also I want to communicate with more people. For example, now I can speak English naturally at some extent, so I can easily interact with people in United States, in the UK, when I go traveling. But sometimes I met the people who can't speak English naturally. So at the time, I can't talk with them. So I usually are frustrated of that experiences. So I want to learn about Spanish and French because these languages are widely spoken in the world. So if I acquire, I want to go France for traveling and interact with a lot of people. Um, Another reason is that I simply like language learning. So I can say I acquire English at some extent. So it's uh, if it's okay to like do a like daily conversation, so that's fine. No, like if I do like daily conversation, that's totally be fine. Yeah, I'm not frustrated at the time, but like I want to become a like Spanish speaker and also like French speaker. だこの回答途中までよかったのに悔しい全然ダメだった この回答はOh yeah, fuck is that? この回答はどうですか？ジェミナイしか無理？もしかして。了解です。文字起こして。Baby please。いやー、これは絶対に良くないな。スピーチマジ苦手だな。そうだよね。Okay. Okay, I'd like to learn Spanish and French in the future. One reason is that I want to communicate with more people from different countries and broaden my international network. Although I can speak English to a certain extent, some extent I still come across the people who aren't comfortable speaking English, especially when I travel. In those moments, I sometimes feel frustrated because I'm not able to have a proper conversation with them. Another reason is that I genuinely enjoy language learning. Studying English has shown me how exciting it is to connect with the people through another language. So I'd love to experience that again with Spanish and French. Since both languages are widely spoken in many parts of the world, I think learning them will be very practical as well. In the future, I'd love to travel to places like France or Spain, interact with the local in a more natural way. I'd like to learn Spanish and French in the future. The main reason is that I want to communicate with a wider range of people and expand my network internationally. For example, even though I can speak English very comfortably, there are still times when I meet people who don't speak much English, especially when I travel. In those situations, I sometimes feel frustrated because I can express myself well or connect with them properly. Another reason is that I simply enjoy learning languages. I already spent a long time improving my English, and that process has made me even more interested in other languages. I'd like to learn Spanish and French in the future. The main reason is that I want to communicate with a wider range of people and expand my network internationally. For example, even though I can speak English very comfortably, no, I don't think so. 最初の英語を話せる流暢にそうだよね。I can speak it very well to a certain extent, yes. I'd like to learn Spanish and one reason is that I want to communicate with more people from different countries and expand my international network. Although I can speak English very well, the fuck is that? Very well. I can speak English very well. ってどういう意味？結構話せます。ペラペラではない。でも普通に会話できる。不自由はあまりない。ああ、なるほどね。Very well. I still meet the people who don't speak English much, don't speak much English, especially when I travel, and that can be frustrating because I'm not able to have a proper conversation with them. Another reason is that I simply enjoy learning languages. Studying English has allowed me to connect with the people from different backgrounds, and I find that experience really rewarding. Because of that, I'd love to experience the same thing again by learning Spanish and French. In addition, both languages are widely spoken in many parts of the world, so I think learning them will be very practical. For example, I'd love to travel countries like France and Spain in the future and interact with the locals. Local people more naturally overall. Learning these languages would help me both personally and professionally, which is why I would like to learn them in the future. Okay, next. Next question. Where is that? Yep. Describe something you'd like to learn in the future. は一緒やん。あ、違うか。Describe something you do regularly to help you work or study. これ一緒じゃん。定期的に行っていることを教えてください。はあ Describe something you do regularly to help your work and or study. You can prepare the time for 1 minute. Okay, so I actually do two things for my work or study. The first thing is workout. Some of the data and studies said like do some light workout is really good for concentration. So if uh like when I focus on my study or like work for quite a long time, um so sometimes I lose motivation and concentration. So other time, I usually go to gym and do some workout, and so for using like 30 minutes. If I don't have any time, much more time, so I do. And another one is that, どうせでした。Another one is that, ah, another one is that I don't like touch my smart. I try not to touch my smartphone. So I put my smartphone usually on my toilet, and so um, I don't put on my smartphone my my room, which is for like studying or working. So that is techniques, like if I use a like smartphone, I easily lose my concentration and scrolling the Instagram reels and TikTok for quite a long time. So I yeah, these are two things I usually do that. ということで。うい、どうだい、頼むよ。そうね、2つやっぱ言い直すの強いよな。I actually do two things that helps me with work and study. 構成あるけど英語が癖れている。これはいいです。こうはありません。8.0直すと。Something I do regularly to help me both work and study is exercise. When I spend too much time sitting at my desk, I tend to lose motivation and concentration. So doing some light exercise help me reset. Even if I'm busy, I regularly do two things to help me with my work and study. The first one is exercise. If I work or study for too long, I tend to lose concentration. So doing a short workout help me refresh my mind. Even if I'm busy, I try to exercise for about 30 minutes. The second thing is keeping my smartphone away from me. if my phone is close to me, I get distracted very easily and end up watching Instagram Reels or TikTok for too long. So when I need to focus, I usually leave my smartphone in another room. These two habits helps me stay focused and work more efficiently. そうだよね。完璧回答を別に覚える必要ってなくて。うん。Okay, so what are the pros and cons studying with friends? Okay, これは GPT 開いて。この10分まで駆け抜けるか。ラスト10分まで。トイレ5分くらいのところ。そうっすね。OK、やりましょう。What are the pros and cons of studying with friends or classmates? Studying with my friend, one of the benefits, ちょっと待って、もう一回やります。Okay. What are the pros and cons of studying with friends or classmates? Okay, the firstly, pros is that so I enjoy I enjoy studying something with my friends. If you do it for your own, for my own, if I do it for my own, so yeah, it's really monotonous. Yeah. So, but like with my friends, I spend that time more enjoyable, like because I can chat with my friend for a bit, so during the rest of studying. The cons is that so it so the people lose motivation easily compared to. I believe that people lose motivation really easily compared with people further studying English, studying something for their own. Because there's a person also like for example, if I talk for a long time, like how should I say, like if if someone talk to me, as it's really easy to lose motivation. No, like concentration. 感じかな。なんかでもやっぱ良くないね。そして長えね。そうだね。One advantage of studying with friends is that it's more enjoyable. If I study on my own, it can feel quite monotonous. But studying with my friend makes the experience more fun. For example, we can chat during breaks and which helps me stay motivated. However, there are some disadvantages. Well, when I study with friends, I sometimes lose concentration more easily. If someone starts talking to me, it's easy to get distracted, and we might end up chatting for too long. As a result, studying with friends can sometimes be less efficient. Yes, sir. Studying alone can feel monotonous, but studying with friends makes it more fun, and we can motivate each other. However, downside is that it's easier to get distracted. If someone starts talking, so we might end up chatting instead of studying, so which can reduce our productivity. こっちの方が絶対いいでしょ。ただむずいんだよな。 downside 10までいこうか、せめて10までいったとしてもちょっと足りないですけどね。ここま完璧に20ぐらいまでやってyou actually get aggressive. You actually get aggressive. Okay, classmate と一緒に勉強することの pros and cons. I already answered. And okay, こっち行きましょう。Do you prefer studying at home or in other locations? I prefer studying other location compare with studying at my home because in my home there's a lot of things I can distract. No, like なんだっけ distract. I can get distracted. So for example, video games, and also books and laptop, so which get me really easy, which get me to lose concentration really easily. But in other locations, I only have the notebooks and textbooks, so which is stay, motivated. こんなアンサーでええんか？おお、来た。今日初めてのバンド6.5来た。7.0 か。バンド 7.0 来た。I prefer studying in location rather than at home. At home, there are many things that distract me, such as video games, books, and my laptop, which makes me lose concentration easily. In other locations, however, I usually only have my notebooks and textbooks with me, which can help me stay focused and motivated. I prefer studying in other locations rather than at home. When I study at home, there are many distractions, such as video games and my laptop, which makes it harder for me to concentrate. By contrast, when I study somewhere else, I usually only bring my notebooks and textbooks, so I can stay more motivated and focused and motivated. これはおもろい。Okay. 1時間で10例分ぐらいいけるな。ディスクライブ系か。OK。36分って書いといて、飯食いながらチェックして。 どうもです。終わります。すごいなんか髪型が不動産売るやつみたいになってますね。というわけで、お疲れ様でございました。失礼します。不動産買ってね。